If your child is diagnosed with Autism Spectrum Disorder and struggles with anxiety, attention difficulties, or other challenging behavior, a First-Then board can be a useful tool to clarify expectations and provide motivation in a visual way. Specifically, it lets them know they will earn something they like after completing a task that may be difficult or less preferred. A First-Then board can be made with photos, drawings, objects, written words on a list, or apps on your phone. Why might a First-Then board be helpful for my child? Through the use of a concrete visual structure, a First-Then board is helpful in teaching children to follow directions and learn new skills. For example, if you are teaching your child to first get dressed in the morning so that they can then eat their favorite snack, seeing this on a First-Then board may help them learn to get dressed more quickly. A First-Then board also tells your child that you understand their frustrations with tasks that may be hard or overwhelming and have found a reward they can focus on during an activity. This can help your child have a more positive experience with those overwhelming activities, such as going to the doctor. A First-Then board can also teach the idea of cause and effect. For example, I wait in line for the slide and then I get to slide. This may lay the foundation for completing directions that have several steps or present more of a challenge, such as cleaning their room. The reward should be something motivating enough that your child is willing to work for it, rather than something they may just like. If you're having a hard time thinking of a reward, think about what they do when they have free time. Then decide how you can make that available only after the first activity, such as a favorite game, a specific snack, or time on the computer. This family is working on chores with their daughter, Annie, who had a particularly hard time vacuuming.
Annie, are you ready to vacuum?
No.
No what?
Vacuum.
Her mother created a First-Then board by putting a picture of a vacuum in the first box and a picture of an iPad break in the then box. The First-Then board was placed in the room where she would use the vacuum, so they can make the clear connection during the task. In order to make sure Annie learned what the First-Then board was in a positive way, her mother first used it during walks, a task that she usually completed willingly and successfully. Following walks, she earned an iPad break. Her mom introduced the more difficult task of vacuuming with the help of the First-Then board. When it was time for Annie to vacuum, her mom cued her with a brief verbal instruction.
Okay, Annie. First, vacuum. Then, iPad break. Right. First, vacuum. Come on.
After she got started, her mom praised Annie's progress.
Good job, Annie. One more piece.
And pointed to the First-Then board again. When Annie struggled a bit, she continued to calmly prompt her through the activity and kept the focus on the task at hand.
Done.
All done.
Done, Mom.
Way to go.
Done.
Right away, her mom linked the completed task to the reward.
Okay, Annie. Good job. First vacuum. All done. Now, iPad break.
And immediately let her have the iPad.
Here's your iPad.
In order to teach the value of the First-Then board, it was important that she let her have the iPad break as soon as she was done vacuuming, even though she needed help. This is to make sure she believes what is on the board and sees the value in completing the task. As vacuuming becomes easier, the first activity can transition to a more difficult goal they are working on. Creating a First-Then board can help increase your child's independence and success across a variety of activities. Please check back in and leave us a comment to let us know how these changes are going.